Many people believe that poverty is written in the stars, but in truth, it often begins in the patterns of thought. When someone accepts poverty as destiny, they surrender their power to change, and this belief quietly locks every door of opportunity. Poverty is not a curse placed on certain lives. It is a reflection of choices shaped by repeated thoughts and attitudes. If your mind constantly whispers that you cannot succeed, your actions will follow, creating a cycle of limitation. Every decision in life begins as a thought, and when thoughts are filled with doubt, poverty finds a way to grow. On the other hand, a single shift in mindset can ignite courage, effort, and creativity that lead to progress. Wealth is not only measured in money, but in the ability to think abundantly and act with purpose every day. Poverty persists when people believe opportunities are reserved for others, while abundance flourishes when they realize effort creates new doors. If you believe success is impossible, you will never try. If you believe success is possible, you will keep moving. Poverty is not about lacking resources alone, but about failing to see possibilities within and beyond your circumstances. A closed mind keeps you trapped, but an open mind invites solutions where none seemed to exist before. People born in poverty are not condemned to remain there, for history shows countless examples of those who rose through resilience. Poverty can feel permanent only when the mind refuses to imagine something greater. To change your life, you must first change the story you tell yourself about what is possible. Poverty begins in the acceptance of limitation, while prosperity begins in the courage to break those limits. When you believe learning is pointless, you stop growing, and when you stop growing, you remain where you are. But when you see knowledge as power, every book, every lesson, and every mistake becomes a tool to rise higher. Poverty is reinforced when people fear risk, but prosperity grows when they dare to step beyond their comfort zones. Those who think wealth is evil unconsciously push it away, while those who see it as a tool attract ways to create it. Poverty becomes a cycle because children inherit the mindset of their parents more than their financial condition. Breaking free from poverty requires breaking free from inherited beliefs that say, "We were born poor, so we stay poor." The truth is, no one stays poor because of destiny, but because of unchallenged patterns of thought. When the mind accepts excuses, poverty continues. When the mind embraces responsibility, change begins. You may not choose where you start, but you always choose how you think about where you are going. Thoughts of scarcity build walls, while thoughts of abundance build bridges. Poverty tells you there is not enough, but abundance tells you there is always a way to create more. Those who keep waiting for luck remain stuck, but those who act with vision create their own fortune. Poverty thrives in hopelessness, while prosperity thrives in determination. If you want to escape poverty, you must first escape the prison of negative thinking. Every step forward begins in the decision to believe something better is possible. Poverty feeds on blame, pointing fingers at fate, government, or circumstances, but prosperity grows through accountability and ownership. Excuses never create wealth, but responsibility always creates progress. To remain in poverty is to repeat old patterns, but to rise is to challenge those patterns with new actions. A poor mindset sees obstacles as walls, while a growth mindset sees them as puzzles waiting to be solved. The difference between those who remain poor and those who escape is not luck, but perspective. Poverty is stubborn because fear convinces people to stay where they are, instead of trying something new. Yet courage, even in small doses, opens doors that fear kept locked for years. Poverty is not an identity. It is only a temporary condition for those who dare to think differently. Every successful person once stood at the crossroads of despair and possibility, and they chose possibility. Poverty says, "I can't," while growth says, "I'll try." What you tell yourself daily shapes the reality you eventually live. Poverty tells you to give up, but persistence whispers that effort always compounds into results. Those who rise are not always the most gifted, but they are the most determined to change their mindset. Poverty teaches you to settle for less, but abundance teaches you to reach for more. If you change the way you think, you will change the way you act, and your life will follow. Poverty feels heavy because the mind carries the weight of hopelessness more than the weight of reality. A free mind sees opportunity even in scarcity, while a trapped mind sees scarcity even in abundance. Poverty disappears when creativity, resilience, and belief take the driver's seat of life. No one is born doomed. We are born with the power to choose how we see the world. Poverty is not destiny, but a condition that changes when thought patterns change. If you want to escape poverty, you must be willing to escape comfort and embrace growth. The poor mindset asks for shortcuts, but the abundant mindset asks for lessons. Shortcuts may give quick gains, but wisdom and persistence build lasting wealth. Poverty grows when people quit too soon, while prosperity grows when they keep going. Poverty waits for miracles, but abundance creates them through action. Those who shift their focus from survival to growth discover paths invisible to those stuck in despair. Poverty makes you look only at today, while abundance teaches you to prepare for tomorrow. A poor mindset spends everything now, while a wise mindset invests for later. Poverty believes effort is wasted, but abundance knows effort is the seed of future harvests. Every small effort builds momentum, and momentum builds transformation. Poverty whispers that the world is unfair, but abundance replies that effort can still bend circumstances. Blame keeps you powerless, but responsibility makes you powerful. Poverty continues when people envy others, but abundance begins when they learn from others. Envy looks outward with bitterness, but growth looks inward with determination. Poverty fears failure, but prosperity embraces it as part of the journey. Every failure becomes either a dead end for the poor mindset or a stepping stone for the growth mindset. Poverty repeats the same mistakes without reflection, but prosperity learns quickly and adjusts. Poverty sees education as unnecessary, while prosperity sees it as the key to freedom. Knowledge transforms poverty into power, and ignorance strengthens chains of limitation. Poverty says dreams are unrealistic, but prosperity says dreams are the blueprint of progress. Without dreams, effort feels meaningless, but with dreams, effort becomes unstoppable. Poverty settles for surviving, while prosperity aims for thriving. Surviving keeps you alive, but thriving gives your life meaning. Poverty accepts what is given, while prosperity creates what is missing. The poor mindset focuses on problems, while the abundant mindset focuses on solutions. Poverty is reactive, but prosperity is proactive. Poverty waits for change, but prosperity becomes the change. Poverty avoids responsibility, but prosperity takes it fully. Those who take responsibility own their power, while those who avoid it surrender their freedom. Poverty says life is unfair, but prosperity says life is a canvas to paint on. The brush is in your hands, and the colors are your thoughts and actions. Poverty continues when you forget this truth, but prosperity begins when you remember it daily. Even the smallest shift in thinking can create the biggest change in living. Poverty disappears not in a single day, but through consistent shifts in mindset and habits. Every positive thought becomes fuel, and every small action becomes a brick in the foundation of abundance. Poverty tells you to stop dreaming, but abundance tells you to dream bigger. When dreams are big enough, excuses become too small to matter. Poverty is the prison of thought, while prosperity is the freedom of vision. Those who remain poor are often prisoners of their beliefs, not their circumstances. Change your belief, and you change your direction. Change your direction, and you change your results. Change your results, and you change your life. Poverty is a chain made of thoughts, and effort is the hammer that breaks it. The real difference between poverty and prosperity is not money, but mindset. A poor mind can waste wealth, but a wealthy mind can create it again. Poverty ends the moment you realize you have the power to choose different thoughts. Prosperity begins when you dare to think differently, act courageously, and persist faithfully. Poverty is not destiny. It is only a shadow that disappears when the light of new thinking shines. Prosperity is not luck. It is the natural result of new choices guided by new beliefs. Remember always, you are not bound by poverty, for your thoughts hold the power to set you free.